In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the reference angle for angles that are in degrees. The first one that we have is 510. Because that number is greater than 360, I'm going to find a coterminal angle that is between 0 and 360. That's the best way to start these. In order to find a coterminal angle, you'll take the number that you have, and if it's positive, subtract 360. Okay, if I do that, I get 150. If this number were still greater than 360, I would subtract 360 again. Because it is between 0 and 360, this coterminal angle that I'm going to go with is 150 degrees. Now, find that angle on your unit circle. If I go from 0 to 150, that angle would be here. So what I'm trying to do is figure out what the reference angle would be if the angle was 150 degrees. Okay, originally we started off with it as 510, but that would just be going around a complete rotation and continuing to go until you ended up here. Okay, that's what a coterminal angle is. So to find the reference angle for 150 degree angle, all I need to do is figure out how many degrees it is to the nearest x-axis. The nearest x-axis would be here. 150, 180. That is a difference of 30 degrees. So my reference angle for a 510 degree angle would be 30 degrees. Each problem that you have, you will complete that same process. This is 505, which is greater than 360. So 505 minus 360 would be 145. Because that's between 0 and 360, I'm going to find that on the unit circle. It will be about here. My closest x-axis is still 180. So I'm going to subtract those numbers. And if you need to, take the absolute value. So if I would have said 145 minus 180, that's fine. It would have been negative 35. Just take the absolute value. You're trying to find the difference in the two angles. This reference angle would be 35 degrees. Number 3 is 640 degrees, which is larger than 360. So I'm going to do 640 minus 360. Okay, 280. So my coterminal angle for a 640 degree angle would be 280. So I start at 0, go all the way around to 280. Here's 270. 280 would be in here. My closest x-axis would be here. Now, this is 280. If I continue to go here, it's not going to go back to 0, it will be 360. So to find my reference angle, I need to subtract those two numbers. The 280 that I just calculated for the coterminal angle for this 640 degree angle, and 360. So 360 minus 280 will give me my reference angle of 80 degrees. So if the angle is 640 degrees, the reference angle is 80 degrees. Now this is the first one that I have as a negative number. So instead of subtracting 360 to find the coterminal angle between 0 and 360, I need to add 360. So negative 305 plus 360 gives me 55 degrees. Now, that is between 0 and 360, and also it is already in quadrant 1. A reference angle has a measure from 0 to 90, so since this one we calculated as 55, I don't have to find the reference angle for that because that is the reference angle. For number 5, I have a negative number again, so I'm going to add 360. To find a coterminal angle between 0 and 360. So I get 260 degrees. Start at 0, go all the way around counterclockwise until you get to 260. It's about here. Okay, not quite here, it's just before it. the closest x-axis would be 180. So subtract those two numbers. 260 minus 180. 80 degrees. So my reference angle is 80 degrees. The last angle that I'm going to do is 300 degrees. Because that's already between 0 and 360, I don't have to add or subtract 360. Follow that around. 300 is here. My closest x-axis to this angle would be right here, which would be a full rotation of 360 degrees. The difference between those two angles, 300 and 360, would be 60 degrees. So that is my reference angle for that one.